Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Don't You Know I've Had a Stroke? My name is Mike Peters, and I've got a great guest today. Um, I'll just leave to let you know we are live on Facebook and YouTube, so please do not swear. But if you are watching, please send me a message as who you are and where you are from, because as you know, I'm a global internet sensation. Right, without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest, who I tried to bring on a while ago, but we were having technical difficulties. So welcome to Haydn John Canter. Hi, Haydn.
Hi, I'm Peter. How are you doing? Well, sorry, sorry, Mike. How
That's a good start.
are you doing?
I'm good,
Trust
thank
me
you.
to
You?
fluff it.
So our first comment is from Salu Cylinder, who's from Inglewood, California. Say hello to Salu.
Hello, Salute. How are you?
Can you see the comments?
So my phone is very, very small. Don't you know I've had a stroke?
Anyway, welcome, Haydn. So, can we start by, can you tell us your stroke story, please?
Yes. Well, basically, it's completely out of the blue. 6.5 years ago, when I was at home, sat at my home office, and I ended up having a stroke. Um, it was a strange sensation. I had a pop in the back of my head and a bit like a bubbling sensation. And lo and behold, unbeknown to me, I had a bleed in the back of my brain. And very, very quickly affected my left side. And I ended up collapsing on the floor. And had to struggle to get help. And after a long, long effort, I managed to get to a phone and phone the emergency services. The whole of that time I was conscious and I knew what was happening, but I was very, very frightened. But luckily I managed to call the contact emergency services before I actually passed out. And the rest, as they say, is history.
And did you know it was a stroke?
Yes, I did. Because I used to be a scout leader,
Ah,
and every 3 years we have to undergo first response training. And only a fortnight before, we had our course, and the acronym FAST, FAST, face, arm, speech, telephone, was in the back of my mind. And very quickly I knew what it was, even though I didn't expect to have a stroke in a million years,
no.
because these things do happen without any warning. Especially in my case, I was hypertensive. I had high blood pressure, but I didn't know anything about that. I was always conscious of things like cancer and heart attacks because I wasn't getting any younger. I was 59 at the time, but a stroke never ever entered my mind. And unfortunately, with hypertension, there's not many actual visible um, symptoms, you know?
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So it was a total shock to me,
Can
but
I
I
just
knew
say,
I had to get help as quick as possible.
no coughing is allowed on my show
Right.
for obvious reasons. So we've
But
got Beth,
if
we've
I
got
cough
Beth,
too much, I'll have to get a face mask.
so we've got Bethan Walker, who's my main carer. She can be bothered to watch today, and we've got Jerry, a friend of mine from New Braunfels in Texas, and he does talk. Y'all, y'all all right? Oh no, that's Brummie, not American. So thank you, Jerry, for watching. So how long were you in hospital for, Haydn?
Just over 3 months, and they were fantastic. I got to be say, you know, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to develop what I was doing with the Stroke Association, because I wanted to give something back to what they gave to me, and I've managed it, thankfully, to be able to do that. So it's great because everything you give, you get back tenfold. So it's a wonderful thing, you know.
And how were you affected, Haydn?
Well, I still am affected. Early on, very, very early, my speech and that didn't come back for the first 3 days. But since the speech came back, I think sometimes my wife would be happy if I lost it.
Yeah,
So I talk too
mine,
much.
mine's the same.
Yeah. But I'm still disabled on my left side. I've got very, very high spasticity, and my left arm is completely immobile, and my left leg is it's difficult to walk, but I do manage with a stick. And you just got to keep pushing yourself. You know, it's I think that's one of the important factors of life. Don't give up. There's always a tomorrow, and if you're there tomorrow, then that's a bonus. So keep cracking on.
Tomorrow will be a better day, as Captain
Oh yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Moore said.
yeah. And it's in your hands to make it better as well. You know, um, it's all too easy to say woe is me, but you know, okay, I'm enabled. I'm not disabled. I'm enabled. Now, I'm unable to do a 4 minute mile. Before my stroke, I couldn't do a 4 minute mile. So I'm no worse off now than I was then.
Yeah,
So I'm enabled. I can't fly a helicopter. I'm enabled to fly a helicopter. I can drive my car now, though, which is a great bonus for me. Okay, it's slightly adapted, it's automatic and that, but I get around. And that's what you got to do in life. Don't worry about things you can't do. Focus on the things you can do. You know,
a
I
great,
lost my list.
a
Sorry.
great quote I heard, and it was used in America lately. It said, "You looked up and said, 'God, why me?' And God replies, 'Why not you?'"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's I'm nobody special. I'm me. I just get on with my life, and anybody can do what not what I do, but anybody can push their life forward.
Yeah,
You know, I'm fortunate that I was gifted with my art and craft. I think it's probably because I was a lefty, because more people with left hand dominance are more artistic and that. But then that didn't stop me because the lady I go to a stroke group with, when I said about I used to paint before with my left hand, I can't do it anymore. She said to me, "Well, do it with your right." And I sort of laughed at her and said, "Well," she said, "Well, try. You know, that's what you've got to do in life. You've got to try something different, something new." And I got to buy some decent headphones as well.
we'll come on to your art in a minute. But you mentioned
Yeah,
the Stroke Association about giving
yeah,
something back. I feel strongly about that as well, which is why I do this. Tell me a bit about the Stroke Association and how you are an ambassador.
yeah. Well, the Stroke Association, based in the UK, a charity. They don't get any government help. They work closely with the actual NHS, and they do a wonderful job because part of the problem is that they don't have a massive purse,
Mm,
and anything to do with medicine is expensive. But they actually fund an awful lot of research and doctors to try and look into the illness of a stroke. Now, I think one of the reasons why I became a stroke ambassador was I was a bit annoyed after my stroke. I felt, well, why didn't people tell me about high blood pressure and the dangers of stroke? Why didn't they tell me that a 59-year-old has got as much likelihood of having a stroke as anybody else? I thought it was an old people's illness, and it's not. It's getting younger and younger. Children. You get over 200 children every year have strokes. Well, that's crazy. And it's massive. And it doesn't just affect you, it affects your family and all those around you. You know, immediately I lost my my income. I lost a job that I loved. I used to drive around the UK selling, talking to people. When you sell, it's not a job because half the time you're talking to friends. And
Mm.
I'm Chopsy, and it's just an adding two and two together and coming out with a really nice lifestyle. And I
Now,
had a good lifestyle.
can you explain Chopsy? Because my American friends won't understand.
Explain
Chopsy.
Chopsy. Well, Chopsy means talking a lot. Yeah, doing this, having a good old chat. Now, if you're able to talk to people, when years and years back, when I first started in the retail trade, one of my bosses said to me, "You don't sell to people. People don't buy off you. People buy off people. So the more you can talk to people, the more you can relate to what you're doing, and the more you enjoy what you're doing, the higher the chances you have of people buying off you. So if you try to be the big I am or standoffish and that, people are not going to warm to you." So that was a very well learned lesson. So I suppose it's a case really of just taking life as it comes, enjoying what you're doing. And I think it's important to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not enjoying it, then why are you doing it? It could be that you're forced into it financially, then I understand that. But it doesn't mean to say you've got to keep doing it.
So Jerry says stroke is not for the weak.
Well, a stroke may not be for the weak, but it can make the weak stronger. You know,
All
um,
right.
when you suddenly, people say to me about what did I think about with the stroke, and you don't think of much. You just get on with life. Now, the hard part is that people say to me, "I don't know how you do certain things," and I don't know why they say it because I just get on with it. And I'm not a magician. I'm not Superman. You know, it's hard enough trying to get my pants on the outside. Inside, never will do no on the outside.
Have you managed
So,
socks yet? I can't do socks.
oh yeah, I got socks up to a fine art.
Oh, you'll
You got
have
to
to give me a lesson.
get your hand most of the way in and the right way round. So when you put your hand into it, it all goes together. But these are all of life's little challenges, Pete, Mike, that, that we have to sort of have a go at. And the nice thing is when you've accomplished something, you can smile and think, yeah, I've done that. So build on every little thing. Now, something I speak to a lot of stroke survivors, and I have this rather crazy thing that I say to them. But bear with me, there is a lot of sense behind it. And that is, do you know how to eat an elephant? Come on, Mike, you're a clever man. You must know. Do you know how to eat an elephant?
No.
No. No? Well, it's quite simple. In bite-sized chunks. Yeah? Now, I liken your stroke to trying to eat an elephant. And the only way we can get over a stroke is to do it bite size, little by little. It's no good giving yourself a challenge which is impossible to achieve. Yeah? Because all you end up doing is being disheartened. And you then become negative. No. If you say to yourself, I'm going to eat the first 4 inches of his trunk today, yeah? And then when you do finish the first 4 inches, you pat yourself on the back and say, right, tomorrow's another day. Now, little by little, you start working your way up. And you'll be saying to yourself, yeah, I'm getting better and better. Quite often people who've had a stroke fail to look back. They're always looking forwards for the what ifs. They don't look back that last month I couldn't do this. I can do it now. And I can do this. So this is what you've got to do with life, is look for the things you can do. Now, one of the daft things you might say, my surname is Canter, Canter. Now, I'm a canter. I'm not a can't. I
Like it.
can. Yeah. Now, it don't matter if I'll make you an honorary canter if you like, but that's what your mind should be saying. I can, not I can't. Yeah. Because who knows? You may not be able to do it perfectly. Well, none of us can do perfect. It was a great, I can't remember, I think it was Leonardo da Vinci that once said that when he paints his paintings, they're not perfect. The reason they're not perfect is only God is perfect. Yeah. And he didn't want to beat God. So, and I'm not trying to get into religion because there's something I don't go into greatly, but it's just a belief. So he
Yeah.
said, why strive for that? And a friend of mine who lives up country, she actually introduced me to something which has had quite a profound effect upon me. Now, it's a Japanese culture that I told you about a little bit earlier. Now, this culture is not the feng shui or whatever they call it, or it's not a religion. It's not a mind, control thing. It's very simple, and it's something that the Japanese people, if you ask them about it, they find it very difficult to describe because it's not something that they religiously do. It's just something they get on with in life. Now, this is what I was introduced to. Something
Wabi.
called wabi sabi. Yeah. Now, wabi sabi is Japanese for a perfectly imperfect light. Japanese wisdom for a perfectly imperfect light. And it meant a lot to me when I started thinking about it. Just based around three principles: incomplete, imperfect, and immortal or impermanence. Yeah. So if you go back to the impermanence, we're not here forever. None of us are. So why worry about forever? Worry about now. Now, one of the things the Japanese look at is a very simple thing which is all around Japan. It's bamboo. Now, if you look at the stem of a bamboo, it goes up, and then every now and again it stops, and then you get another bud forming. So they are like the little pockets of your life where your
All right.
life grows. So you get that. So that's the impermanence. Now, incomplete. How often have you read a book and when you got to the last page, you found it was great, but you're disappointed because that's the last page? Now, that author may not have written another book. I'm reading a book now. Now, the girl who's Linda LaPlante, one of the famous, authors, her next book on this series is not out until this year. So I got to wait months. Now, how often have you ever done a jigsaw? My wife's jigsaw mad. It drives me nuts because my vision. When you put that last piece in the jigsaw, you feel elated for a short period of time, but then you think, oh, it's gone.
Mm.
So why do we always strive to complete things in the knowledge that, it may not bring us added pleasure? And lastly is imperfect. Now, we strive for perfection in everything we do. We spend a lot of time, money quite often, worry to get everything perfect, just so. When in reality, to reach perfection is a very, very small chance. And when you do reach perfection, if you've got everything in your house looking perfect, and then the kids come home and they make it livable. So we've reached perfection and it's quickly been dismissed.
Mm.
Now, the thing I like about that is that if you live a life accepting imperfection, then there's no reason why. I've got an old sweatshirt that I love to wear, not this, but my mother-in-law bought it for me, quite an expensive one for Christmas. And it was the first year that we had our little dog. She was a puppy. And puppies being puppies, they chew everything. And I left her on the puffy in the bedroom, and my little dog came out and chewed the collar. So I've got this lovely sweatshirt, but the one collar is a bit threadbare. Now that was some years ago, because my little dog's 9, nearly 10 now. And yet my wife, every time she sees it, she wants me to throw her away. And I don't want that to happen, because I love that sweatshirt, because it's perfectly imperfect. You know, it's had a life, and things that we have around them, they have lives.
Mm.
And my dog chewed that shirt, so that shirt means something to me.
Yeah.
So what we got to do with life is appreciate. If you got something at home which has had a life and it's getting old, why throw it away? Why don't you just enjoy the life you've had and the life it's had? You
My
know?
wife, my wife's tried to throw me away, Haydn, but hasn't succeeded yet.
Yeah. I I know you, Mike, so I got every reason to understand that. But no, I'm sure she only doesn't mean it. She
I
could
love,
get a lot worse,
I love that
and she's a
analogy.
very caring person.
Well, she's a priest, Haydn. That helps.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm going to
She
bring
got
up,
help.
yeah, she's got help from above.
Yeah, help from upstairs. Yeah,
Well, I'm going to take myself out and show some of your artwork. If you can talk about the pictures when I bring them up, please. Okay.
yeah. Right. This little one here is a very famous place in the town where we live. That's a viaduct in Portkerry Park in Barry. Now, I go to this park quite often with our dog, and this great construction, it inspires me every time I look at it. One of my other great loves is whiskey. So when I had a chance of doing it, so I came up with this. Now, a lot of what I draw, I paint on, I actually use slate, and it's part of the wabi sabi thing.
Oh, Haydn's knocked a button, I think. Hopefully he'll be back.
Hello, Mike.
What happened there?
My phone fell over.
At least it wasn't
Unfortunately,
you.
yeah. This is the fun of having one hand. But a lot of what I do, I actually do on slate. Because slate is a little bit like impermanent. Because it'll break. It's not here forever. But it's imperfect. Now, a lot of these slates, I've had to scrub them down with sandpaper and take algae off them. They used to be on a cottage in Wales, and it's Welsh slate. Now, this is a wonderful material, and I've given it a new life by painting on it. And as my painting develops, so a lot of what I do develops with it. And my most recent form of art has been using Welsh slate, but in doing a sort of a relief on top using a clay. So a lot of what I do now in just outside of Cardiff, we've got a beautiful castle, and it's called Castle Coch in Welsh, or Castle Red, if you want it in English. And this is a picture I did of Castle Coch. Can you see that now?
Yeah. So it's like
Now what?
3D.
Yeah.
Oh, he's knocked the phone off again. He'll be back. What I'll do, I'll show you some of his artwork.
Hello, Mike.
Knocked it off again.
Yeah. This is trouble moving the phone. I'm not very proficient. So am I back proper now?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, right. And I just showed the last one quickly. This is one I'm doing for a friend, and he loves this subject. So I just showed this quickly. Now again, it's in like a 3D effect, and it's a Lancaster bomber with two Spitfires escorting it home. Now, another friend of mine saw this, and she said to me, she said, "That's the Battle of Britain flight." I didn't know that. It's just something I picked up on, and I knew my mate would love, because he loves the old World War II planes, and it's just something I thought he might enjoy. So you see, all of these things, you pick up bits of life and just develop them, and that's what I try to do in my life. Just enjoy what I'm doing.
Well, I'm going to bring
Now,
up
my
some of the
hmm?
pictures you sent. I'm going to bring up some of the pictures you sent me. Can you describe what you see? No, that didn't work.
Right, are you there back?
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to bring up pictures, but it won't let me.
Oh yes.
So I bought a few of those pictures up. And can I just clarify, you're using your affected hand to now paint?
No, my left hand is still completely disabled. I can only use it as a paperweight. So, but I have taught it a trick. If I point to it and tell it to stay, it does that. So you just got to go forward. And as I say, Stephanie said to me about challenging me to paint. Now, everything I do now, I do with my right hand. Now, if you told me 6, 7 years ago that I'd be able to paint better with my right hand than I do with my left, I would have laughed at you. Not that I was ever brilliant with my left. I was good, but not brilliant. I enjoyed it. I think one of the advantages of having a stroke, if you want to put it that way, is I got time now. When I was completely pre-stroke, I never had time. I was charging up and down the country doing my job, always involved with other young groups and that. I'm gonna have to get a 6-inch nail in a minute and fix this. But now I got time, and instead of sitting watching the telly or looking out the window doing nothing, I try to use my time positively. I can talk to other friends, which is wonderful. I can do my art, which is great. And I can read books. Because luckily, I can read books. Now, a lot of people with dysphasia are not able to read books. So I have to accept the fact that I'm not, I'm definitely going to get a 6-inch nail. I got to accept the fact that, you know, I can do this. Other people can't. Just a quick little story. When I was doing about 2 years back, when I was doing my recovery, I used to go back and forth to Heath Hospital, which is a big hospital in Cardiff, and it's massive, as a lot of these super hospitals are becoming. Now, I don't know if it was done on purpose, but the physio gym was down the very, very end of a very long corridor. So whether or not it was to make you walk, before you got to the gym, you'd already done a mile or so, I'm sure. So I was going to the gym this one morning, feeling a bit sorry for myself, because God, I'm thinking this corridor, they must have built an extra couple of feet on it every night. It's getting longer and longer. And as I'm looking at the corridor, coming towards me was a guy in a wheelchair smiling. And I'm thinking, God, that poor chap. Because his legs were cut off above the knee. Probably diabetes or some other equally horrible illness. And then I thought to myself, I swore at myself, I gotta be honest, but I won't tell you what I said. Why are you moaning? You are walking up there, up to the gym. He'll never walk up to the gym on his own legs. So I metaphorically give myself a slap and carried on. Okay, thankfully, metaphorical smacks don't hurt anywhere near as much as the real thing does. So I just got on with it. And I think that's what you can quite often do. Not feel sorry for yourself too much and go from
Well,
there.
I think you're amazing, Hayden, and I can't wait because I'm going to be an ambassador as well. So,
Yeah.
ambassadors together.
Yeah, you're right. It's good. It's good life because the more you give, the more you get back. You know, you know why they don't pay volunteers? Not because they're worthless, because they're priceless. And you are priceless, mate.
And
And when you
definitely.
become an ambassador, I'll enjoy working with you.
So, how are you coping during this pandemic?
It's a struggle. Yeah, no two ways about it. Physically, I could get out and go to the gym and go to the hospital to see my friends there. Well, now I'm stuck at home. And the difficulties of being enabled, shall we call it, is that you need to get up and have these challenges. And now it's not safe to do. So my body is starting to not shut down, but every time I try and walk a good distance, it starts telling me, "Oh, man, I've been doing this for a while." Then the next day, my back will hurt or whatever. but you just have to accept it, you know, and crack on, do something else. Don't dwell on pain. I think there's a therapy called acceptance commitment therapy, because if you dwell on pain, it becomes the center of your life. Whereas if you say, yes, my back is hurting, it's not killing me, but it's hurting, and then you get on with life, that pain no longer means, it doesn't become the center of your universe. And that's important.
During my physio, one of them said, pain is just frustration leaving the body.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Haydn, we're coming to the end now, and your wife's shouting, so we better go soon. So, can I thank you so much? I'm so proud to know you and proud to become involved with the Stroke Association.
Yeah,
So, thank you so much, mate, and take
my
care,
pleasure, Pete.
and I'll see you soon.
Okay, Mike.
Take care.
You
Bye.
take care. Bye for now. Take care.
Well, thank you, everybody, and I'll be back next Friday. Not sure who with yet, but I will have somebody. So, thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Love you loads. Bye.